So in terms of the digipack, the first thing that one can know, and the first thing I noted really when I looked at the digipack for the first time, was not only the title Waves, but the theme that actually runs throughout the album, which does follow with the name Waves. The font is wavy itself, and also the image on the front cover of the digipack is quite blurred in a way that the buildings are kind of distorted. They look wavyish, following this theme of waves. Also on the front cover, I like the way that Drake, the artist's name, is positioned underneath the waves. Obviously, the title's the key for the digipack, and placing Drake's name underneath the name of the album, not only the waves, that's what grabs your attention towards the album because it's big, bold. It's what you see, the first thing you see, read when you look at the front cover. But when you see Drake's name, you're like, oh, it's Drake, because he's a well-established artist, making you want to buy the album. So that's like a unique selling point for the album, having Drake's name there in bold in the waves font on the front of the album cover. We've also got the parental guidance, which is very handy on an album like this. There might be content with explicit words, so just having that on the front cover just warns the consumer. If you're not into that kind of thing, you shouldn't be buying the album. And yeah, just keeping it calm for the consumer. If we go into the digipack, I think that the personal message that you've got on the inside cover, that's a very good touch to the album. It certainly made me feel appreciated by the artist. May I say, when I read it, they've made the content for you, and they're just thanking you for everything you've done for them, and it makes you feel special. It makes you feel connected with the artist. Sticking with the idea of connection, you've got the Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram links for Waves, so anyone can keep up to date with the album, see what's going on. Any music videos being released, that sort of thing. As for the back cover of the album, we've got the lyrics page. Obviously, these days, you can find almost anything on the internet, and lyrics is one thing. You can search a song, watch and read lyrics on the internet. But I like the way that you've added the lyrics for the hit singles into the digipack. Despite the fact you can look up songs on the internet, you've added the key songs by Drake, which is another unique selling point itself, because people like, this digipack has got my favourite songs lyrics inside, the mainstream songs as well, which will sell the album to a wider audience. So having that in the album will make people want to buy it. One more thing is the use of images. You've got the picture of Drake on the disc. You've also got a picture of him which spreads across the panels over there, which is another good thing. They're really clear pictures of the artist, and another nice thing to look at, aesthetically pleasing, if you know what I mean. And then as for the back cover, you've got your OVO sound, which is another thing to be which I should speak about. With the artist, you've got the picture of the OVO out, obviously OVO sound on the artist, and this is good for the album, especially for the record label as well, because if one sees that out and are pleased with what this content's providing for them, they might think, Drake's providing great content. I'm going to go head over to OVO Sound, see which other artists there are, and they may end up with an artist like Party Next Door, for example, if they're pleased with Drake's content. And just a final thing to talk about is the track list on the back. It's straight down the middle. It's easy to navigate. If you want to listen to a song and you say, oh, I want to go and listen to Controller, to go to track 11, where it is, just 11 clicks of a button, you're there at your favourite song. And yeah, obviously having Child's Play in the album is a key inclusion. Obviously that song's just been released as a music video, and this album is one of the main things promoting that song, and that song's also promoting the album, so it works in both ways, so that inclusion is good as well, yeah. And then in terms of the album advert, I actually think this is a really clear design. I think I really like it. It's very clean, very professionally done. Yeah, it's good. So to start with, we've obviously got the Waves font, keeping it simple, um, keeping it back to basic, if you know what I mean. You know, you've got the same image which was used on the front cover, the distorted image. This time it's a bit clearer. But that, you know, you walk into a store and you see, you walk into a store and you want to buy Waves. You're just looking for that picture that's on the advert that you've seen down the high street or online or whatever. So that that's keeping them similar. It makes the store easier to navigate to find what you're looking for. What else is there? We've got our Billboard and Fader reviews, obviously very prestigious magazines, music magazines, and if you see 5 stars from Billboard and 5 stars from Fader, you're obviously going to think this is a really good and well-made album, making you want to buy the album. So that's a selling point itself. You've obviously got the release date. You know, that's key for the consumer, knowing when Drake's new content is going to be released, so that as soon as it's released, in this case March 16th 2017, you're there going to the store to purchase this album. Another good inclusion, you know, at the bottom you've got your OVO OW again. So you know, if you're walking through the store, you see, or you're walking down the high street and you see this advert, you think, whoa, I've seen some good content from some OVO sound artists before. So for example, I've seen, you know, I loved Party Next Door's latest album. I'm going to go and get Drake's new album now because it's from the same record label. So that sort of thing's good as well. You've obviously got your barcode in the bottom left corner, scanning barcode. I presume you can scan this to get extra artist content, extra album content, which is good, keeping the consumer up to date with the artist, which is always a good thing. You've also got the available on iTunes sign, which is also good. You know, the consumer can know. Consumers might not want to go to the shops to purchase music; they might want to get it online. So, seeing it's available for iTunes is another positive thing. You know, they might be more. What's the word? What am I looking for? They might be more. They just might want to buy it more, knowing that they don't have to go to the store, knowing that they can get it online instead. And then obviously just finishing up, you know, you've got the information about the record labels right at the bottom, giving those record labels the credit that they deserve. Yeah.
Okay.
I really like the two products. I think they link really well with the fonts being the same. I think you can clearly see that they're both working together for the Waves album. I also really like how on the CD part, you've got the waves in the background and you can just see the one in the colour, with the colour scheme. It just helps again let you know what the name of the album is, and again it's a catchy name. I also like how with the album advert, it's very, very eye-catching with the one colour in the middle, the one photo in the middle even, and then the colour all around it, also showing where you can go and get it, and with the QR code, I think that's really good with linking the technology together. And yeah, I think it's a really good product.
One thing that really sort of stands out is the colours that you use, like the backgrounds. The font really sort of, it's quite easy to read, it stands out. I like the front cover, how it's outlined. It's quite cool. There's quite a lot of imagery of the artist, which it makes it more sort of noticeable. I think it's quite cool, the social media bit and the thank you message. And the CD, I can sort of see it being professional, like a professional album. Do I talk about the poster as well?
Yeah.
Yeah, the colours on this is actually, because the use of blue and white it makes it sort of look really, it's like quite bright colours, it's nice. And yeah, it just looks really professional.
Okay.
So looking at the advert, I really like the colour scheme that you've chosen. I like the idea that you called it Waves and you kept it to a blue colour scheme. I really like the idea that you have a city and the triangle, because there's a lot of repetition. So in the digipack, you can see a lot of similarity to the advert by looking at the buildings. Having a picture of the artist, I think, is really important. You've got it a couple of times on the digipack. When I look at the advert, you can really tell that they come from the same, what's the word, artist. And especially with the colour scheme that you've chosen. And yeah, I really like the fact that you have ratings on it. I think that's really good. And the little like fine print at the bottom, like its attention to detail, like where you can find it. Sorry, I'm trying to
Okay, so I like your digipack because I think the colour scheme works well with the pictures that you've chosen. You've used all the conventions and you've got the barcode and the record company and the social media links, and it's clear that it links to your album advert because you've used the same picture, the same colour scheme, the same font, same house style, and you've shown like where you can listen to it. And I like the use of the 5-star from both Billboard and Fader because it shows that it's like an album worth listening to.